Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Reality, spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality, spirituality. Oh, now we get real. Getting real. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. Reality, spirituality. Yeah, you're gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Reality Spirituality. I'm your host, happiness specialist Rebecca L. Norrington. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for sharing. And welcome to all of the new listeners. Woo, there's been a wave in the last couple of weeks of new listeners, people finding the show. Welcome to all the new listeners, and also a big embrace, a big hug, a big energetic hug to all of my listeners that have been with me for years and have not grown tired of listening. What? How did that ever happen? So the growth is we're all on this journey together. We really are. We are more the same than we are different. We really are. When I say that, I mean with the same issues, the same problems, the same angst, the same anxiety. We all have challenges in our lives, and what this show, what Reality Spirituality does, is I share with you, as a happiness specialist, I share with you what I've learned about this thing called happiness, what I've learned, the truth about happiness, the importance of happiness. And in fact, I've said this before, but there was a study done by a hospice nurse years ago. What is her name, so you can look that up? What is her name? I know I have that information. Where is that? Hold on. Where are my papers? Of course, I have them spread all over. Her name is Bronnie Ware, Bronnie, Ware, W-A-R-E. And she did a study. She's a hospice nurse, and it was the 5 most common regrets of the dying. Now, I've shared this on the show before, but with the new listeners, this I don't mind sharing it again. The 5 most common regrets of the dying. Now, you can look that study up and look her up. But one of the 5 was, I wish I would have been happier. That's huge. You're dying, and one of your regrets is, I wish I could have been happier. I would have been happier. So this happiness, for me, is a serious and important topic. And what are we looking for anyway? What are we searching for? In reality, the truth is, what are we all looking for? A feeling, a sense of well-being, a sense of balance, a sense of peace, a sense of contentment. And of course, listen, life throws at us, I don't need to tell you. I don't need to tell you some of the challenges that we've had. But there is a way, there is a practice, because happiness is a practice skill. And the skill requires practice. The happiness skill requires practice. And on this show, on Reality Spirituality, all I do is share with you what to practice. Simple. What to practice. What to practice that will add to your happiness, and what to eliminate the behaviors that subtract from happiness. That's it. It's really very simple. But the hard part is, the most challenging part is, you're gonna have to put your seatbelts on for this one. I know it's an early seatbelt warning. You're gonna have to look in the mirror. The answers come from the mirror. The answers do not come out there. The answers do not come from lockdowns, pandemic, who's the president, none of the answers for peace. Don't think, it doesn't matter who you voted for, but don't think that if, let's see, your person that you voted for is in the office and now you're going to be at peace, or the person that you voted for is not in the office and now you're going to be have a lot of unrest. The outside circumstances, the outside events have nothing to do with your internal peace, have nothing to do with your vibration. And that's what today's show is about. This is a very, very specific, and I use myself in as an example because when I was very younger, what did I wish for? I wanted two things. I wanted to live to my potential, and I wanted to be happy. And so this happiness is a journey. When I say a practice skill, I'm always learning there's something else to practice. It is never ending. You will never be bored. I don't know about you, but I remember years ago, I'm bored, I need something to do. Trust me, when you commit to and you prioritize wanting to be happy, you will never be bored again. There is always some assignment. There is always work. There is always a practice. There is always something to do. Now, it may seem, oh, gosh, but the rewards are priceless. I don't care if you gave me $500 million, I would not take it to go back to who I used to be. I could care less. This peace, this internal peace, has a value that not one you cannot buy. And you see it out there. You see the people with all the money, right? The most people with the most money, where's the happiness? I hear happiness, money buys freedom. No, freedom is a state of mind. Happiness is a practice and a state of mind. Don't ever let anybody persuade you that, because if money bought happiness, then all the people with money would be happy. And guess what? I don't even want to give you the percentage because it is a shocking percentage. I will give you the percentage, but 2% of the population, 2% of the population are willing to look in the mirror and challenge themselves and practice. Practice what, Rebecca? What are you talking about, practice? Well, when I say happiness is a practice skill, let me give you my definition of happiness also. My definition of happiness is the ability to be at peace regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. That includes election. That includes who's running the country, because we all have a destiny. We all are living out our destiny. And regardless of what you, let's see, how do I say this? Regardless of what you believe, and let me just ask you this question. If you have the ability to script out everything in your life up to this point, would you change a few things? Either yes or no. Most people would say, yeah, I change a couple of things. I know I would. I know there's some things that I didn't need to or want to experience, or let me scratch that. My ego didn't want to experience, because that's the truth. So when I say we're all living out our destiny, everything that is happening and everything that happens to you, there is a gift underneath all of it. There is a gift waiting to be discovered. There is a gift waiting for you to recognize. And if you're really honest with yourself, even those most challenging times that you have experienced up to this date, you can feel there is a shift, there is something that benefited you. There was something underneath all of that was beneficial to you and your soul and your peace and your growth. If you're honest, you can say that. Then there's a lot of people that, no, all the bad stuff that happened to me, oh, horrible, I can't find anything good out of it. That's okay, too, because I get it. Trust me, I've been around a lot of people. I've talked to a lot of people. In fact, one of the before I get to the topic, I always go off on a tangent. Before I get to the topic of the vibration of satisfaction, and I want you to take a deep breath in and out. The vibration of satisfaction. Can you imagine vibrating a feeling of satisfaction? And when I say satisfaction, I mean that vibration, shoulders down, peace, content. I am satisfied. I am content in this moment. Thank you. I'm appreciative, and I'm content in this moment. Now, just because you are vibrating vibrating satisfaction, that does not mean you don't take action. That does not mean that there's something that you are inspired to do that you don't do. What? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean that there is no action. The vibration of satisfaction is your foundation for all of the action. I'm talking about foundational tools. And when I say foundation, what are some of the practices that add to happiness? Let me just throw those out. Some of the behaviors and practices that add to happiness are wanting a happier life and prioritizing that. Committing to peace, happiness. And I'm talking about an individual. I'm not talking about, looking out there and changing the world. No. You want the world to change, you change yourself. You want the world to change, then you change. Be the change that you want to see. And that is really, really, I got so much mail last week from the topic of self-hatred, because this hatred, and I'm not saying that, listen, I used to get into hating things and hating people and hating ideas and ideals. I used to do the same thing. But the problem with that is, number one, you can't hate and be happy at the same time. The vibrations, you can't have that much energy hating, and you know the energy I'm talking about, and be in peace at the same time. And the second thing with that hatred is when you hate someone, especially a person, and it doesn't matter who it is, from a family friend to a coworker to the president-elect, doesn't matter who, to a celebrity, when a football player, a sports player, when you hate that much, when you have the ability to hate with that much energy, it is all self-hatred. I don't care if you believe it or you don't believe it. You cannot hate that much without internalizing, being that vibration of self-hatred. That was last week's show. We're on to a new show, but I got a lot of flack from that. But it's understandable. It's very difficult to look in the mirror. It's very difficult to look in the mirror. Trust me, I know. But I also know over years and years and years of study and practice that is the only way to peace, is being honest with self, knowing self, connecting with higher power, whatever you want to call it, God, universe, spirit, source, connecting and being at peace. Okay. Some of the behaviors that add to happiness are committing to the practice, surrendering to whatever's happening in the moment, surrendering and detaching from any outcome. And that goes to, talking about an outcome, detaching from an outcome, because when you are attached to an outcome, I don't care what it is, from a worldly macro to a micro outcome, you might as well open the door to unhappiness, because the attachments to any outcome is the beginning of a recipe for something that is the opposite of peace. Humbling your ego, and so that's when it comes into play, when listen, there are two entities in my head. There's the one that's the critical voice, the voice that says, oh, there's something wrong, there's not enough, I need more, something isn't right. You know what I'm talking about, that critical voice. There's always a problem. There is always something wrong. And that's why I wanted to talk about this vibration of satisfaction, because let me just read off some other things that add to happiness. The acceptance of self and the acceptance of others. Listen, we are all as different as our fingerprints. And the reality is we all have a different perspective. Unless you have been inside someone else's skin, you can't really even the words that we use they have a different meaning for someone else. So knowing and accepting the differences of others and the difference. I didn't say to have dinner with them, but there is an acceptance that will bring you more peace, acceptance, as opposed to these people need to change. Because, listen, I was the same way. I thought the world, don't tell anybody, but I thought the world would be a lot better, would be a better place if people thought like me. If more people thought like me. Can you believe the gall and the arrogance and of that? And I really did believe it. And so the beliefs that you are unable, in other words, challenge, question your beliefs. I believed that until I went on this journey to be happy, and I'm thinking, wow, that was way off. As nice and as kind and as giving and compassionate at times, not all the time, and as loving as I am, and as colorblind as I am, of course the world would be a better place. But I'm here to tell you that way of thinking is not acceptance, and it's not accepting. Again, I'm not telling you don't need to, there's no action. But there is first an acceptance of there is someone, there is a different belief than me. And in fact, that's one of the biggest problems in this, I'm just going to talk about the country. When I say problems, is there is a big bone of contention with people thinking a different way of other people. I mean, there is a lack of tolerance for any other thought other than one way. And that is getting into dangerous territory when you can't even think, when you can't even have a different opinion. And I'm just stating an observation. Now, the other thing that adds to happiness is living consciously. That means that this awareness of what you're saying, what is your intention, what is your agenda, what are you saying and why are you saying it? Being okay with uncertainty is another behavior and a practice that adds to happiness. And allowing others to be themselves without judgment. And listen, come on, you're talking to me, you're listening to me. I know how to judge. I mean, I was the judges of all judges. I know, but when I say when the universe gives me the truth that judgment subtracts from my peace, then that means I gotta throw out the judgment, because life isn't. In other words, judgment is not my job. It's not my job to judge. Judgment subtracts from peace and happiness. Backing up a little bit, let's get back to the topic. How did you let me get off the topic? The topic is the vibration of satisfaction. Now, you all know that you are energy. We're walking around. We are live, living. We are energy. We're conscious energy. We are energy, and we vibrate. All of us vibrate at a different frequency at different times. You can feel the difference. You can feel the difference when you're vibrating peace, love, connectedness. Shoulders down, relax, cool. What a great world. I was looking at another documentary the other day and about how beautiful this country is, and all of the places to visit and the beauty of this country. you know, when you listen, we all get to a place where sometimes, wow, you're just in awe of the world that surrounds you, or you don't. Sometimes people can't find the beauty. I get that too, and that's their destiny. Not being able to see beauty, not being able to see peace, not being able to experience the connected, the love, the embracing that energy that creates worlds, embracing all. So I realize that everyone's not there. This is what I say. I say that we're all avocados, all of us. I'm no different than anyone else, but some of us avocados are a little bit more ripe than the others. In other words, we're all avocados, and listen, I don't know about you, but I'm not eating an avocado that's not ripe. So we're all at different stages, and sometimes the avocado that I'm talking to is a ripe avocado, and sometimes it's not. But it doesn't mean that the avocado is bad. The avocado at this stage. No, that's what really saves me when I say looking at other people and the ability to accept without judgment. I know that everyone is at a different stage and a different time in their life and a different place, but I know it's their journey is unique to them. Getting back to our energy, getting back to the energy. So we're all energy and we all vibrate. We all vibrate at a different level, and you can feel the difference when you are at peace with self, at peace with others, at peace with life, and you can feel when you are, I'm not going along with this universe. This is a problem. This isn't happening the way I wanted it to happen. Scratch that. This isn't happening the way my ego wanted it to happen. We all can relate to all of that. So that vibration of satisfaction, when I say that, it is a foundational place to be rooted in. In other words, when you vibrate that vibration of satisfaction, listen, you can only vibrate either you're satisfied or you're dissatisfied. It's very simple. You're either satisfied or you're dissatisfied with yourself and your life, right? Scratch the others, because we could care less about the others, because other people don't have any power over your happiness. I know you might believe that. I know you might think that. But other people, what they do, what they don't do, especially I'm talking about people that you know in your family, your relatives, your coworkers, they have nothing to do with how happy or how peaceful you are. Ouch, I'm sorry, not sorry. But we've been programmed to definitely blame other people for why I feel so bad or why I feel so sad or why I feel so anxious. But I'm here to tell you that's not the truth. That vibration of satisfaction, when you vibrate satisfaction, that means in every moment there is nothing else you want or need. Nothing. There is nothing else you want or need or desire. See, that's not easy. That's not an easy practice, is it? I'm raising my hand. I'm in my own class raising my own hand. When I reached a point, and it's letting go and saying, okay, your will. You've heard this. Your will. Universe, this is your will. God, this is your will. Your will. Whatever your will is, I'm down. Whatever your will is, I'm high-fiving it. And so when you vibrate satisfaction, you are vibrating, you are also allowing the universe to work through you, to work you, to do whatever it wants to do with you, to you, and you're okay with it. See, one of my things is, well, I only have a few hundred people listening. Thousands. I want millions. And the universe always throws this back at me. So you're not satisfied with. And see, this is the thing. It's not about me teaching or sharing and I'm helping other people. No, you know what really gives me a deep sense of is when people say to me, "Thank you for a different perspective. I never thought about it like that." That's it. That's it. I can close the book. I can walk away. I can put my hands up and say, "Thank you." That's perfect. I never thought about it like that. And when I say the vibration of satisfaction, I was checking myself this week because it's very easy to have, the ego's very sneaky. It gets in ways, it even throws in, for the better, for the good of others. It even throws in crap like that. But the real truth is, being able to vibrate satisfaction in any moment, in as many moments as possible, in every moment, as many moments as possible, is an accomplishment that will bring you so much peace. And it is an accomplishment. It is a practice, and it is an accomplishment. Oh, I just got a text from my number one. It is an accomplishment to be able to practice and to want. To practice and to want. Keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing, keep practicing. And the practicing is never over. How do I vibrate satisfaction? How am I okay with getting older? How am I okay with health issues? How am I okay with aches and pains? Well, you know the solution, you know the answer is being grateful and being thankful. Because life is here and life is gone. And we never know when that's going to happen and when it's going to happen, when it's not going to happen, who we're going to keep, who we're going to lose. I was listening to someone that I really, really like on the radio, and he made a comment which I did not agree with. He has listen, I'm just going to say his name. He has a topic every week, and it's called the Happiness Hour. And so I tune in sometimes to the Happiness Hour just to disagree. Not always to disagree, but a lot of times I do disagree. And he said that the reason why he can be so happy is because of this tragic outlook on life. Now, if you know some of the behaviors that subtract from happiness, one of them is labeling. Anything that you label subtracts from happiness. Scratch that. All labels subtract from happiness, because if you label something good, that means you got to label something bad. All labels subtract from happiness. Well, what do you mean, Rebecca? All labels, then what do I say? Well, you say that life is an experience without any judgment. Life is an experience without judgment. I'm not here to judge. Judgment subtracts from my happiness, so I ain't judging. I can witness, I can experience, but I'm not going to make a judge because it's not my job to judge. So back to the tragic, he said, and it works for him. He said, if I didn't have a tragic outlook on life, I wouldn't be so happy. And it confused me because I am just the opposite. I don't look, and he gave the example of life and death, and he says, it's tragic when you lose someone, and it's tragic when someone dies, and it's tragic. And I'm thinking, I don't think life or death is tragic. It is definitely an experience, but I wouldn't label it tragic. I would label it's just part of life. My point is this. But with this, it's the same goal. He's talking about how important happiness is. How important happiness is. And so we are as different as our fingerprints, but with that same goal, with that same feeling, with that same wanting to be happy. Now listen, if you're out there arguing, pointing fingers, being angry, talking about someone else in a negative way, very negative way, putting someone else down, criticizing, all of this pointing, blaming, this anger, this people, who are the people that get along? And especially if people don't view life the same way that you do. So you're out there and you're so angry and you're pointing the fingers and you hate other people. Do you think those people can be happy? Do you think those people are happy? Can you be happy and have that much anger and that much hate at the same time? That's their journey. But when I say, how does it feel to be happy? How does it feel? The feeling of happiness. And again, happiness, I'm using happiness, it's the same to me as contentment, peace, balance, satisfaction. All of it is the same vibration. Forget the words. The words can be a trigger point. I don't like that word. I don't like this. There are people that don't like the word happy. I don't like that. I don't like that word. That's a trigger. It triggers me. Well, let me tell you something. When you're triggered by a word, when you're triggered by a word or a comment, who's more powerful, the person that can be triggered or the person that cannot be triggered? By a word? It's very interesting to sit back and witness what's going on. And all I can do, listen, if I had a magic wand, don't tell anybody, and please don't tell the universe. But if I had a magic wand and I was, you don't think I'd change some things up. And when I say change things up, I mean, you know what? Scratch all of that. Because that was an example of being dissatisfied. And any time that I look out and I see something that I would want to change, isn't that a vibration of dissatisfaction? I don't know. I'm asking that question. I'm really asking that question. Now, don't write me about people getting hurt, people getting injured, people getting tortured, people don't. Of course, that is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a bigger picture about all of this angst, because even the angst, even the back and forth, even the country being divided in two whole parts, there is going to be something good that's going to come out of this. That's what I believe. That's what I practice. Am I going to be around to see it? Who knows? But I definitely know that there is an evolution to this life. There's an evolution to each of us. There's an evolution of countries. There is an evolution to the universe. And with that, there can be a vibration of satisfaction. There can be a vibration that everything is in order. There can be a vibration of trust. And with that vibration of satisfaction, there has to be a vibration of trust. There has to be a vibration of being okay with uncertainty. There has to be a vibration of knowing that everything is in divine order. And if you believe and if you trust and if you know that everything is in divine order and everything is unfolding exactly the way it's supposed to, guess what? You will be able to vibrate that feeling of peace. I didn't say you didn't get out and do whatever, inspired to do, but you're rooted in peace. And so what's a good example? I go to the ocean because that's the easiest one. So at the bottom of the ocean, there's darkness, there's stillness, there's peace. And that doesn't mean that at the very top of the ocean, above all of that, there's a typhoon, there's a tornado, there's a tsunami brewing. But at the bottom of everything, there is peace. And that's what I'm saying, to come from that bottom, that peaceful place. Come from that place. Act from that place. Do from that place. Begin everything from the place of peace, from that vibration of satisfaction, that vibration of peace. Start there. Begin there. That's where the seed is rooted, in the peaceful place. See, when you were born, you were not programmed to, you came out not caring what anybody said about you, not caring what anybody did, not caring what anybody said to you, not caring, could not be insulted. This was before the programming. And you were not into anything else other than, and you were right in the present moment. The vibration of satisfaction, here we go, the vibration of satisfaction is always found in the present moment. The vibration of satisfaction is always found in the present moment. I'll get vibration of dissatisfaction looking into the past. I'll definitely get a dissatisfaction looking into the future. It doesn't even exist yet. The vibration of satisfaction is always found in the present moment. And that is why the practice of being aware and being conscious and living in the present moment is the practice. Not living in the future. I don't know what's going to happen. Not living in the future. The present moment. This program for satisfaction, this program for dissatisfaction, is rampant. It's a virus. It's a cancer. What is it? What are we calling it? Pandemic. This pandemic of being dissatisfied, it always comes back to being dissatisfied with self. Always comes back to that. You cannot be dissatisfied with anything or anyone without the dissatisfaction of self. That's a fact. Just like the self-hatred. You cannot hate without having self-hatred. You cannot be dissatisfied without being dissatisfied with self. It all starts from self first. So who's with me? Who's with me? Who's going to look in the mirror and who's going to commit to contributing peace to this planet? I didn't say you didn't have any actions, but there is a peace that's under all of this. That's where I'm talking about living. That's where I'm talking about staying. That's where I'm talking about is foundational. Whew. How does happiness feel? Happiness feels like there is an unwavering peace that never leaves me. Happiness is a knowing and a believing and a trusting that everything that happens is happening for a reason, to serve me and to serve the world. I don't know. I can't explain. Sometimes it's not clear. Sometimes it looks like it's ass backwards. All of the energy, the angry energy, the back and forth, the unrest, I feel it. I know what you're talking about. I've had big cries, sobs, getting out all this energy, sobbing. And you know what happened today? I live in the middle of the forest. And today, there's a creek in the backyard. And every summer, the creek dries up. And every winter, with the rain, the creek starts moving. The creek starts flowing. And today was the first day. We had rain yesterday and a couple of days in a row. Today is the first day that the creek started flowing. And I have to tell you that creek flowing, I always say, is a sign. The creek started flowing today. You can hear the water running. The creek started flowing today. Where is your focus? What are you contributing? Is a question only you can answer. Whew. You don't need to feel peaceful to be peaceful. You don't have to, in other words, our feelings, we go on this roller coaster of feelings, happy, sad, and all the labels. What if, and then all the labels and all the stories. Oh, the reason why I'm feeling this way is because of this. And I'm here to tell you that all of the stories that are told and that we believe, the stories that this happened because of this and this happened because of that, I'm letting you know that whatever is happening is because it was destined to happen. The stories can keep you feeling and vibrating something that's the opposite of peace. The power is witnessing. The power is being at peace. The power is knowing that peace is powerful. Someone was talking about they're having an argument. You can't have an argument with just one person. You can't. No one is ever going to be able to argue with me for longer than a minute, maybe 30 seconds or two, because I'll give up. I'm not arguing with anybody. I choose peace. I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to argue with you. But I am going to be an example of peace. I am going to be an example of acceptance. I am going to be an example, a human example of the universe. Whew. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. My website is going to be up soon, maybe in another week or two. Follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington and LinkedIn. My Instagram handle is Reality Spirituality. I have a couple of videos on YouTube. I know. My first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, can be purchased on Amazon. And my second book, whenever the heck that's going to be, I'm working on editing now. I'm looking for an editor. Program for Unhappiness is going to be out sometime 2021. And until next week, my dear audience, I want you to remember who you are. You're a physical extension of the universe. You're always evolving. You're always changing. Love is patient and love is kind. Be patient and be kind to yourself. Be your own best friend. Remember, you cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. It is about the journey. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality Radio with yours truly, happiness specialist Rebecca Lynn Norrington. Have a conscious week. And remember, happiness is a practice skill. Your experience in every moment reflects on what you practice. Have a conscious week. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RL?